If you want to know how to lose weight as a Christian woman, then keep on watching. Jaclyn Castro here, and welcome to my channel, Courageous Fit Female, where truly it's all about helping Christian women to get fit God's way. If you're new here and you want to learn more about how to get fit God's way, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button below and tap on the notification bell so that you can be notified on my brand new uploads. Now let's move on to how to lose weight as a Christian woman. These are 3 questions to ask yourself as a Christian woman. Question number 1 is, do I eat more God-made foods versus man-made foods? And this may seem like a really obvious question, so let's just get to the fundamentals, right? We know the difference between God-made foods versus man-made foods. So I'll just give you some examples. God-made foods are things specifically that grow from the ground up. They're not made in a factory. So there are some exceptions to this, really, as in buying oatmeal, it's in a package. Like, those things are exceptions. But if you're finding yourself eating more man-made foods like fast foods, things that come out of a bag, and maybe even going down to as far as eating out often. So do you eat more God-made foods versus man-made foods? That's a question that you should be asking yourself, and be honest. And here's a guideline to go through. So let's say you eat 3 times every single day, right? 3 meals. And there are 7 days in a week. That adds up to 7 times 3 is 21 meals. But if you find yourself eating 10 or 15 or even 20 times, 20 meals out of a can or out of a bag or fast foods, those are really not counted as God-made foods. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can never eat fast food. You can never eat a bag of chips. You can never eat a piece of cake. But be honest with yourself. If you're not losing weight, take a hard, honest look at the foods that you're eating. If they're not God-made foods, then that may be a really big indicator as to why you're not losing the weight. And on top of foods, of course, we have to drink something. So ask yourself, are you drinking more sodas? Are you drinking more juices? Are you drinking more bubbly teas? Is it more of coffees with lots of sugar in it? Is it, do you have an addiction to teas filled with sugar? Do you turn to juices more than water? But learn how to cut back on the sugar. The safest way to go is what God provided for us, and that's water. So if you do drink coffees or teas, then go ahead and do that, but try to eliminate or cut back on the sugar. Many times cutting back on sodas and cutting back on coffees and teas, that is something that can almost instantly, within a week, cut back on a lot of weight already. So be mindful of not only the foods that you're drinking, but also on the drink. Question number 2, what am I using to measure my progress? Now, here's the thing about being a Christian woman, and this, if anything, if you were to take anything away from this video, it is this. It's to choose patience instead of performance. We choose performance, we choose the outward appearance, but we forget that it takes patience. And I want you to ask yourself this question within the question of number 2, which is, if you put on 35 pounds in the last 10 years, what gives you the idea that you can lose 35 pounds in 1 month? Maybe you joined some kind of challenge, a fitness challenge, a weight loss challenge, and you saw other people that were losing 35 pounds in a month, and you find yourself stuck in this rut of, why can't I lose 35 pounds? What am I doing wrong? But again, choose patience over performance, and you did not gain 35 pounds in 1 month, so why would you expect to lose 35 pounds in 1 month? And before we move to question number 3, I want you to comment below and let me know if you joined any fitness challenges or weight loss challenges and expected to lose 20 pounds or even 10 pounds or 5 pounds. Comment below and let me know. So here's what to do to measure your progress. Instead of a weight scale, measure your progress based on what God's word is telling you to do. Do not base your progress on the social media feed images that you see. Do not base your progress on your friends. Do not base your progress on the progress that you had maybe 10 years ago. Base your progress. We are Christian women, right? So I'm speaking to you as a Christian woman. We have the freedom and the liberty to open up His word and to see the truth and to hear God speak to us with His power, with His truth. of how to have self-control. And when it comes to measuring your progress to society, we are basing our standards on what society is telling us what we should look like, not what God is telling us, right? God looks at our heart. So he tells us to look inside of ourselves. Now here's what to do to measure your progress. Measure your progress based on God's word, not the world's ways, aka society or what the world is saying, because his ways are higher than yours, right? Definitely don't measure based on how it's going to gain the approval of other people. In Galatians 10, for example, it says, "For do I now persuade men or God? Or do I seek to please men? For if I still pleased men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ." Question number 3, do I find myself in the comparison trap? And I know you know what I'm talking about. I myself was in that trap for many, many years, actually even before I became a Christian. I remember specifically there was this one girl from middle school up until high school and even beyond that before I became a Christian. I was jealous of what she looked like. I was jealous of how much attention she was getting from other people. I was coveting how smart she was and she got all these accolades in school. But specifically, we're talking about weight loss, and it's very dangerous to be a Christian woman and to covet another person's body. So do you find yourself in the comparison trap? And the bottom line here for this question that I want you to take away is to focus on Jesus. Do not be focusing and using all of your energy and time on trying to figure out what is the world telling me to look like. That comparison trap is such an exhausting place to be in. And ultimately, here is the final question within the question within the question is, how is that even glorifying to God? I want to know, do you find yourself in the comparison trap every now and then? I still find myself there. I'm not creating this video to say that I have it all together. And these are just really some questions that I collected along my journey, my fitness journey and my weight loss journey. As far as a Christian woman, what are things that I am comparing myself to? Abs, guns, and buns will not bring you satisfaction. And the reason why I know this is because I have been there. I have been there in part of my journey, and that was actually the worst time of my life where my marriage was being destroyed. So again, if you have been finding yourself in that comparison trap, focus instead on what Jesus' words are telling you to do. Listen to his words. Compare yourself to how are you living today and compare it to what standards that Jesus has instead of what the world is telling you you should look like. I want to know in the comments below, comment and let me know, have you ever compared yourself to another female, whether it was your friend or maybe even your sister or maybe someone on your Facebook feed that you have no relation to, or maybe even to a celebrity. Comment below and let me know. I know that I'm not in this alone. So to recap, number 1, do I eat more God-made foods versus man-made foods? Number 2, do you measure your progress based on what the world says or what God says? And number 3, do I catch myself in the comparison trap? Now, if you want to learn more about how to get fit God's way, that's what this channel is all about. So go ahead and click on the subscribe button below and tap on the notification bell so that you can get notified every single time I upload a brand new video. Jaclyn Castro here, signing off with Courageous Fit Female. And until the next video, stay courageous and fit.